Hey, this is Ray with the Rocky Mountain Mouse, and today I'm going to be talking about what some people consider the best part of a cruise. So, full disclosure, this is the third time I've recorded this video in as many weeks. And every time I've sat down to edit my video, there's just something about it that I don't like. And I think I figured that out this week, that I was just narrating through our food journey on the cruise, and I was saying things that I think people wanted to hear, and that just isn't me. So instead, I'm going to take a different approach to this video, and I'm going to do the good, the bad, and the ugly. But I don't know that there was anything bad, so I'm going to call it the good, the mediocre, and the ugly, because there was definitely some ugly, and we will talk about that. So anyhow, this is going to be a more honest review of my experience on the cruise ship with the food. As many of you know, I am a foodie. I love food. I love going to restaurants. I love trying different things. So this was an important aspect to the cruise, and it's just an important aspect to me for traveling in general. On our first day of the cruise director got up on stage and he said, "We have one motto here on the Disney Cruise Line, and that is, if you see it, eat it." And that really made me laugh, and I kind of took it to heart. It really is that way. You just see everything, and every time I was eating something, I thought about his voice, and he had us repeat it, and it was a lot of fun. But if you see it, eat it is something that you do on the Disney Cruise Line. So let's get started with the good, the mediocre, and the ugly, and we'll start with the good. The first thing that you need to know up front that is outstanding on the cruise ship is there are 24/7 options available to you. You should never go hungry on a cruise, specifically on the Disney Cruise Line, because you have access to food the entire time. So granted, you have to understand where those options lie. They have the quick serve options on the pool deck, they have the dining room, they have the buffet, and then anything past, I would say, midnight, I believe, you would have to just get room service. But that's available 24/7 all day long. If you're hungry, you just call room service and they'll bring it down to you. So 24/7, unlimited options. You should never be hungry on the cruise ship, and we never were. Number two that I consider a good is the rotational dining. So there, instead of one main dining room like many cruise lines have, Disney has 3 separate dining rooms, and you rotate through them during your cruise. So we were on a 3-night cruise, and there are 3 dining rooms, and so we got to visit each one of those on the different nights that we were there. Now, if you have a longer cruise, you're going to double up on those dining rooms, and they're assigned to you. You'll know on your Key to the World card which order you go in, and that's how you go through. So you get an opportunity to see and taste the different menus in the dining rooms. The other benefit to that, which I also consider a very good thing, is that the staff comes with you. So your wait staff will be with you the entire cruise at every single dining room. So they get to know your preferences. I think on the second day we came in and our drinks were already ready on our table. And then they'll know they'll talk to you as you're going through it, and they'll know what your taste preferences are, and they'll know what to recommend to you. So that's an amazing thing to me, is that although the dining room and the menus changed, your wait staff did not. So I think that was an excellent approach to doing the rotational dining. Also in the rotational dining, just so you're aware, there is an early dining, which is I think 5:30, and a late dining, which is 8:30, which is the one that we chose. So whatever your preference is while you're cruising, how you want to split up your time is where you'll want to take those dining. We chose a late because for us, cruising was like being in a casino. You don't really care what time it is, and so we just took the late dining because it is the least preferred of the two, and therefore it was the least busy, and there were tables available, and we were able to get our own table, not have to share with anyone. So that just depends on your preference. Another good to the dining experience, particularly in the dining rooms, is you can eat what and how you want. So if you sit down and you want 4 appetizers and a dessert, that's what you order, that's what they'll bring to you. If you order things that you haven't tried, for example, I don't care for seafood. Let me clarify that. I don't care for Utah seafood, and I'm assuming that's because it doesn't come fresh from anywhere, because we're inland. But every time I'm on the coast, let's say in the Pacific coast or the Atlantic coast, when I eat places, I will get the seafood, and I actually really enjoy it because there's just a different flavor to it. It's sweeter, it's fresher. So on the boat, I opted to eat some seafood. But if you don't like what's served to you, you just tell your staff and they will take it away and they'll bring you something else. If you want to try everything on the menu, they'll bring it to you. So that's such a bonus, is that you just kind of eat how you want everywhere you go. So that is something that I consider good. Another fantastic thing is the theming in every restaurant. So there are 3 dining rooms. There's the Enchanted Garden, Royal Palace, and Animator's Palette, and they're all themed distinctly. Enchanted Garden is themed after the Gardens of Versailles, so you do feel like you're in a French garden. And what's amazing is the lighting kind of progresses through your meal. So when you come in, you're there in the daytime, it turns to dusk, and by the time you're done with your meal, you're in twilight. And I believe there's even fiber optic stars in the ceiling. So it's just an amazing way to eat a meal. It's like eating at the Walt Disney World restaurants, but a little bit better, a little more themed. It's incredible. Royal Palace is themed is again French, classic French, and it is themed with the princess fairy tales in mind. So, but it's not overt. It is subtly done, and it's just, you feel like you're in a royal palace. So there you go. And then Animator's Palette is probably the funnest and most casual atmosphere. We'd been there, we'd gone there 3 times just for different reasons, and it's just a lot of fun with the Turtle Talk with Crush going on, and the colors, and the kids really enjoyed that. So the theming in these restaurants is just out of this world, and also a plus. Another thing that I really enjoyed was the presentation of the food. It's what I call spriggy food. If they put a sprig on it, it makes it look even better. And they always say that you eat first with your eyes, and when it comes to that, you're going to get your fill of food through eating through your eyes, because it's just beautifully presented. And you could tell they take a lot of time and care in the details of the way they present your food. Another good thing about the dining on the cruise ship is that it's very kid-friendly. They have kids' menus. They come out on little Mickey Mouse plates. And also in the dining rooms, they offer you the option of coming and picking up your kids from the dining room and taking them to the kids' clubs. So we took advantage of that, because the kids do get restless after a period of time, especially when it's a 3 or 4 course meal. They get bored and restless. And so what they'll do is they'll come in 20 to 30 minutes after you've started dining, and they will gather up any of the kids that want to go to the kids club, and they'll be escorted to the kids club, and then you can go pick them up after dinner, which was fantastic. And so even our staff would say, okay, what do the kids want to eat tomorrow at dinner? Mac and cheese, nuggets, whatever the kids are going to eat. And so when we'd walk in, the kids had their meals already on the table. They would eat and then have enough time to go and go to the kids club, leaving us to continue eating our meal. So outstanding service again, and it makes it easy to take little ones on the cruise ship and not worry about them becoming rambunctious during dining hours. Another thing that we considered excellent on the cruise ship was the Cabanas Buffet. Now, we avoided it for the first portion of the cruise, but once we actually got up there and tried it, we ate there once for breakfast and once for lunch. And the food was actually some of the best food on the cruise ship, and you can kind of pick and choose what you want to eat without having to look at a menu or make the decision, or you don't have to worry about any of that. And it was actually some of the best food we ate. For breakfast, they had a Mexican dish that I like. It's called chilaquiles, which is a typical breakfast food. The closest thing I could describe it to is nachos, but it just is better. And it was fun to have that. They have all different sorts of seafood and other options. So Cabanas Buffet is a definite go-to, and I think we had wished we'd eaten there more often, or probably sooner during the cruise. Another good thing about the cruise is they have drink stations. On many other cruise lines, you have to pay for a drink package for soft drinks or even alcohol. Now, alcohol on the Disney Cruise Line is not included, so you'll have to pay for that. But the soft drinks and the juices and all of that stuff are free or included in the price. And so they have stations out on the pool deck and you can just go as often as you want. We had refillable water bottles. We just go fill those up with whatever beverage we wanted. I would recommend to go into Cabanas, even if Cabanas is not open, the drink station is, and they have juices in there. And they have what they call pod juice, which I believe is passion fruit orange and guava, and it's a mix. And oh my gosh, it is so great. So go in there and get some pod juice, fill up. And it's also in air conditioning and you can sit in there if you want and avoid the crowds out on the pool deck to the drink stations. But having unlimited beverages while you're there is definitely a plus. To go along with the unlimited beverages, they have unlimited soft serve ice cream. Now, I am not an ice cream eater, and if I do eat ice cream, I like the hard pack ice cream. So I didn't even touch the ice cream stations, but they're there. They have cones. You can take a cup up. You can just fill up all you want all day long during the cruise. So that is a big bonus for people. And one more thing that I'm going to put on my good list, meaning it exceeded expectations. And this is going to sound weird, but the thing all of us enjoyed the most at our dining room experiences was the bread service. The bread was really good. And the dips and the things they had to go along with the breads were just crazy good. And so it was a level above bread service, and I don't eat bread. In fact, I don't enjoy it. So I don't bother with it. I don't bother putting those extra calories and carbs in my body because I don't really care about it. But man, those dips and spreads that they serve to you at every restaurant were amazing. So do not skip the bread service. Even a lot of people are like, I'm not gonna eat bread because it's gonna fill me up. Who cares? Eat the bread and do the bread service. So there's the list of the things that I consider good or exceptional. Maybe I should have called this exceptional, mediocre, and ugly, but those are the good things about the dining that I think of when I think back on my cruise.